Alright kids, it's time to do our math. This is our last math lesson from the workbook for the school year, and I'm excited to do this with you. So this is lesson 23, and I'm on page 125. And today I want you to try the problem and then check your work with me. So I want you to pause the video, go get your workbook out, go to page 125. And right now I want you to try to do number 1 and then pause and come back and think with me. Alright, so this story says that Gail makes a mini stop sign, a regular octagon with a perimeter of 48 centimeters for the town he built with blocks. What is the length of each side of the stop sign? Well, we don't need to remember by memory how many sides there are in a stop sign because it gives us a clue here. It gives us the clue that it is a regular octagon. And regular means each side is the same length, and octagon tells us that it's an 8-sided figure. So I'm going to do a quick sketch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't have to be good, which is good because that's not good. And it says the perimeter is 48. So the whole thing all the way around is 48 centimeters. So if the total is 48 and we want to know how long each length is, we know the number of groups, but we don't know the size of each group. So we have a division sentence here. 48, the total, divided by 8 parts. 8 parts or groups is what we called this earlier in the year usually. It's the number of pieces. And it doesn't matter if it's sides of an octagon or bags or whatever. Bags of goldfish crackers or anything. We just have a basic division fact. So 48 divided by 8. We can skip count by 8s to find the size. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. So I got 6 groups of 8. And then check what you know. Does 6 groups of 8 equal 48? Yep. So we figured out the length of each side is 6 centimeters. Did you get that right? I hope you did. All right, number 2. I'll read it, then we'll pause and you go try it on your own. Travis bends wire to make rectangles. Each rectangle measures 34 by 12 inches. What's the total length of wire needed for 2 rectangles? So we are doing 2 rectangles. And each measures 34 by 12. Whoops. Okay, pause the video and go see if you can figure out the total length of wire he'll need for 2 rectangles. All right. So this measurement that they gave us shows us 2 of this, or one of the sides, 2 of the sides, but we need the other lengths as well. And since it's a rectangle, really our lengths around look like this. So we need wire to bend here and here and here and here. So let's find the perimeter of one of these and then multiply it by 2 to figure out the other one. So the perimeter, or the wire length that we need to bend, is 12 plus 34 plus 12 plus 34. So let's see, let's join some things together here. Maybe I'll do it like this. I'm going to use this little corner of my page. I'm going to join my 12, so now I have 24. and 34 and 34. Can I do that mentally in my head? Yeah, 8 and 6, so 68. And I'm just going to write this out here. 12, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 92 is the perimeter of one side. So the same would be true for this side, or this rectangle, I mean. I just thought of it as 2 because it said 2. So now I have 92 inches of wire needed for this one and 92 needed for this one. So we could do 92 plus 92, doubling it. So I need a total of 184 inches. What is the total length? He needs 184 inches of wire for 2 rectangles. Maybe you figured out how much he needed for one, or maybe you forgot to measure the wire needed for a rectangle. But this is the right answer. I'm going to circle that. I'm going to circle this one too because a lot of teachers like you to circle the answers. Your 4th grade teacher will tell you what she wants you to do next year. Okay, number 3. The perimeter of a rectangular bathroom is 12 feet. That's not right. The perimeter of a rectangular bathroom is 32 feet. The width of the room is 8 feet. What is the length of the room? Okay, so we have a bathroom. And we don't know exactly what the side lengths are yet, but we know the perimeter all the way around is 32. So this is one where we know the whole and they want to know the parts. The width of the room is 8, so let's just put an 8 over here. And then they gave this clue. This is an important clue. Rectangular. That means this opposite side would be 8 too. So really what we're looking for is the other lengths. So let's use what we know to see if we can get closer to figuring out these unknown parts. Okay, well the total was 32. So if we subtract these sides that we know, we'll be left with an amount that could be used for these 2 sides. So 32, here's the math I'm going to do. I'm going to take the total and I'm going to subtract 16 to represent this length and this length, 8 and 8. So 32 minus 16. Most of you know that by heart already, just because you've worked with 16s a lot. It is 16. If you didn't know it by heart, there's nothing wrong with writing it down. So we can't do 2 minus 6. So we're going to take a 10 from here. We'll leave 2 10s behind and bring that 10 over here. 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, so 32 minus 16 equals 16. Now we know that this length and this length equals 16. So I can take this 16 and divide it in half for the 2 parts that I need. Huh, what do you know? This bathroom is actually a special rectangle we call a square. So my drawing, it was a guess, wasn't it? And what I really should have drawn is something more like a square, because 8, 8, 8, and 8, that is the lengths of this square. So think about it. Does it make sense? Are 4 8s 32? Yep, it is. So the width of the room is 8. The lengths are also 8. It's a square. 8 feet. All right. So the key to this problem was realizing we knew the total and we could subtract the side lengths that we knew to find the missing lengths. Okay, almost done. Raj uses 6-inch square tiles to make a rectangle as shown below. What's the perimeter of the rectangle in inches? All right, so they want the perimeter. This is the distance around. But these units are not worth 1. So this distance is not 3, is it? I know in the past what we've been looking at, we counted this as 1 unit. But this time, each square is worth 6. So we have something much longer. We have 5 groups of 6. And on this side, we have 3 groups of 6. So if you pause the video and tried this one before me, and you came up with 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 5, if you got 16, it was just a reading mistake, because each one of these sides is actually worth 6, 12, 18. This side length is 18, and that means this one is 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So the entire side, the perimeter would be 30 plus 18 plus 30 plus 18. So I'm going to do some quick mental math. I see 60 plus, let's see, I'll do the 8s. 16, 26, 36. So I joined my 30s to get 60, and then I did 18. I split them into 10 and 8 and 10 and 8. So I had 16 plus 10 plus 10. If you don't want to do your mental math by 10s and 1s, that's fine. You can write it out as well. So 60 plus 36 is 96, and our unit was inches. The perimeter is 96 inches. There you go. Okay, try number 5 and then come back and see if you did it right. Okay. Misha makes a 4-foot by 6-foot rectangular banner. So I can already go ahead and draw my rectangle. She puts ribbon around the outside edges. The ribbon costs $2 a foot. What's the total cost of ribbon? Okay, this is a good problem to start by writing your solution. The ribbon costs The reason I say that is because I can tell by reading it carefully that they're not asking me how much ribbon we need. They're asking me how much it will cost. So this is already, I can tell, it's going to be a 2-step story problem. First, I'll need to find how much ribbon I need. Then I'll need to multiply it so that I can find how much it will cost in total. So 4-foot by 6-foot rectangle. So that means these measurements are also given, even though they didn't say it. So the perimeter would be 4 feet plus 6 plus 4 plus 6. I bet you're seeing 10s. So the perimeter is 10 and 10. Perimeter is 20 feet. That's the first step. The next step is thinking about how much it costs. If she has 20 feet and it is $2 per foot, That means she is taking 20 times 2. 20 times 2. 20 feet at $2 a foot equals $40. So that's our total. There you go. Did you get that one right? Okay, last problem. Colton buys a roll of wire fencing that is 120 yards long. He uses it to fence his 18-yard by 24-yard rectangular garden. Let me just think about that first. 18 by 24 rectangle. Will Colton have enough wire fencing left over to fence in a 6-yard by 8-yard play space for his pet rabbit? Okay, so we know the total. His fence total is 120 yards, and he wants to do two things: make a garden and build a rabbit cage or a rabbit play space. Man, all these cool gardeners and pet owners, right? So does he have enough wire in his roll to put a perimeter around both these things? Well, let's do our 6 by 8. Okay, so when they give us these two sides like this, and they say that they're rectangles, we know that the opposite sides are equal to each other. Okay, so he has fencing to go around these 4 sides, and he wants to know if he has enough to do this cage too. Let's find the perimeter of this shape first, the garden. So we have 18 plus 24 plus 18 plus 24. Okay, how do we want to join those? Okay, well, I know that 24 and 24 is 48, so we could do that step. And 18 and 18, didn't we just do that one up here? Yeah, we did. It was 36. So we have a new math problem to solve, 48 and 36. So 14 and 8. So the perimeter of the garden is 84 yards. 84 yards. And he wants to know if he has enough to also build a playpen. Well, we need to take what he had started with and subtract what he used to see how much he has left. I'm going to do that math in this little box down here. So he started with 120 and he used 84 for the garden. You cannot do 4 from 0, so we have to borrow from the tens. Leave 1 10 behind and take 1 over here. So we have 6. 1 minus 8 can't be done either. So we would, in theory, be taking it from here, leave nothing here, and when we add 10 to 11, 10 to 1, we get 11. So 11 minus 8 is 3. Okay, so he's left with 36 yards of wire. So the question, is 36 enough to go around? Well, let's find the perimeter really quickly. 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 8. So 14 and 14. 14 and 14. The perimeter is 28. So he has 36 yards of wire left. And yeah, he can go all the way around without leaving any gaps, so his little rabbit can't escape. He would be a good pet owner if he had, since he has enough wire to go all the way around. So the answer to the question, will Colton have enough wire fencing? Yes. He has enough. All right, kids. I hope you got some right. If you got some wrong, that's okay. I hope you figured out what your mistake was. I hope you had fun doing your math. I encourage you this summer to go back and work on Module 6. That's the one we skipped. It has problems about reading graphs and doing quick math with graphing information, charts and graphs. Okay, boys and girls, have a great day.